Hello everybody, it's Brian here in my basement once again, and today the video is a response to MGK Boston. You know, his channel is completely misnamed now. It was MGK Boston. It's still MGK Boston, but it really should be MGK Buffalo, but I'm not going to complain about that. But here I am in my basement with all sorts of crazy things happening because of the renovation. So Mike issued a challenge to several channels, and let's be clear on this. He stole the idea from Gary at Physical Format Rock and Roll. And but on the other hand, I think it's a worthy challenge. I'm happy to participate, and he did acknowledge that he stole the idea from Gary. But let's go. So now my channel, or my challenge revolves around the musician John Cale, and I guess I'm known to be a fan of John Cale. So his directive to me was three things. First, wear a t-shirt that is not a plain t-shirt. So in other words, something that has a pattern on it. And hopefully a John Cale t-shirt. Now, I have seen John Cale in concert, but I don't own a t-shirt from John Cale. But I'm wearing a David Bowie t-shirt. It says Ziggy Stardust on it. So that's the first thing done. A t-shirt that has something on it. And then the second thing is to tell the viewers something that they may not know about John Cale. Now, I've done videos on John Cale, of course. My Cale series is up to, I think, number 10 or 11, and let's be honest, there could be 40 videos by the time I'm done. But I have mentioned his background, the fact that he's born in Wales, his father was a coal miner, his Welsh was his first language, that kind of thing. But here's something that maybe you don't know, and it's something I read in an interview some time ago, I can't remember when. In this interview, he was asked what his celebrity crush was, and he said it was Erykah Badu. And he said something like he'd like her to have his children. So there you go. I hope you don't know that information, because hopefully it's new to you. Now, the main part of this video, though, is to rank my top 5 John Cale records, which is no easy task, let's be honest. Yeah, and I'm focusing on solo John Cale records, so no Velvet Underground records here. I'm going to exclude songs for Drella, which he did with Lou Reed. And, you know, to be honest, of the period after the Velvet Underground, that's probably my favorite John Cale release, but I don't think it fits when I'm ranking John Cale solo records. In fact, when I did a Lou Reed ranking, I left that one out too because it wasn't a solo Lou Reed record. So 5 favorite John Cale records. And also I should say that, you know, his sound has always changed, and he's gone through different phases. Like he's got the avant-garde sound, he's got the more in-your-face rock and roll sound, he's got that pop aesthetic going at sometimes, and many of his soundtracks are really classical, so it's all over the place. But having said that, I picked 5 that I think are my favorites. I'm going to start with one that's only available on compact disc, and that is from 2005. It's called Hobo Sapiens. I will take it out of this case. You know, this is one of those records that I wish it was available on vinyl, just isn't. It's from 2005, as I mentioned. Really excellent record. Another one that came out around this time was Black Acetate, and I think those are both terrific. This had that copy control software on it, which everyone hated. It meant that if you copied it to your computer, you were only allowed to do it once or something like that. And then they eventually released software to remove that from your computer because it wasn't clear when you were copying this over that in fact it was downloading software to your computer, so that was a bit of an issue. There is writing there, but it's totally illegible. It's actually blurry, you can't see it. There are some credits here, which, I mean, if you pause the video, you could watch that if you wanted to. But I think this is his best record from the 2000s. I think it's fantastic. I wish it was released on vinyl. I mean, I'm not going to read every title of every song here, but there are some really terrific tracks here, like Reading My Mind, Things, The Look Horizon, great, Magritte, Archimedes, oh, they're so good, Twilight Zone, etc., etc. Really, really, really great. Also, he thanks Brian Eno for the groove and his daughters Ariel and Darla for the giggles on Bicycle. Really good. As I say, should be on vinyl. Maybe one day it will be. Fantastic. Number 4, one of his Island Years trilogies. This is the second of the 3 from 1975. That is Slow Dazzle. And as I mentioned, I did an entire video on many of his records. Well, the first few. I'm still planning to do the rest when this reno's over. But Slow Dazzle from 1975, the middle of the 3 Island trilogy records. On Island Records, of course. And this is really great. I mean, obviously, because I've chosen it. You've got that side of him where it's this sort of in-your-face rock and roll with tracks like Dirty Ass Rock and Roll. That track, the probably the most unusual cover version I can think of is his cover of Heartbreak Hotel. And now if you know the original and you listen to this, you're going to be wondering what kind of drugs did he take to get this going, and that's a good question. Really an unexpected cover version, a really good one. But at the same time, you've got this beautiful track, I'm Not the Loving Kind. You've got Guts, the opposite of that, which is a really aggressive song with a great solo. Mr. Wilson, kind of a Beach Boys kind of thing going on there. The only track that I'm not thrilled on is The Jeweler, because I think if you've heard that once, that's probably enough. It's one of those story-based songs that he has done. There's other examples. There's one in the Velvet Underground. I would say, though, if you're looking for the best John Cale story spoken word song, you should go to Songs for Drella, because the track on there is riveting, and I listen to that without any fatigue. I can listen to that every day. Well, not every day maybe, but it's a really good one. I don't get tired of that. But this one, I've heard The Jeweler many times, and maybe I'm not so thrilled with it anymore, but really great record from 1975. Slow Dazzle, number 3. Fear, the first of the Island Years trilogy records from 1974. He did 3 records in about 2.5 years. The third of the Island Years trilogy was Helen of Troy, also really good if you ask me. I forgot to say he was on that record, but they have some of the same characters. Brian Eno, Phil Manzanera, etc. I'm not going to remember them all. Richard Thompson appears on here. Again, really, really terrific record. Starts with the pseudo title track called Fear is a Man's Best Friend. By the way, Billy Bragg did a pretty good cover version of that. Buffalo Ballet, sort of beautiful ballad-like song that tells a story about this town. Really great. Barracuda, more upbeat kind of track. Again, there's a mixture of like pleasant, sort of almost pop songs and these more hardcore, not hardcore, but more in-your-face rock kind of songs. So the man who couldn't afford to orgy, I've always said orgy, he says orgy. Anyway, whatever you make of that. You Know More Than I Do, beautiful song. Mama Scuba, kind of weird, but Ship of Fools, fantastic. This is a really, really good record. So I'm picking this as number 3, Fear from 1974. And I said this was difficult, but it really is difficult to choose the top 5. And for number 2, from 1982, I have chosen Music for a New Society, which is kind of a harrowing record in some respects. Apparently he went into the studio with no songs written, so everything was written in the studio. And it's a spare, kind of emotional, atmospheric, quiet in some respects record. It's hard to even define it. And the songs are, it doesn't have a very strong or obvious... I mean, some songs do, like chorus, verse, chorus structure. Some do, but some are a little more avant-garde. The one that strikes me as being most like that is Rize Sam and Rimsky-Korsakov, the one that ended off really interesting. A couple songs that really got some attention. Chinese Envoy, I would say, is a song that he kept going with. On here we have a version of Close Watch, which is a cover version of his own song, Close Watch, and it's a song he wanted Frank Sinatra to sing. But... if you want to get a sense of this record, just listen to the first song and pay attention to the lyrics. Taking Your Life in Your Hands, really interesting. Close Watch is great. Chinese Envoy, as I mentioned, really, really, really great record. Kind of maybe a surprise when it came out because it sounds quite different from the stuff before it. So, and as an aside, in 2016, John Cale released this version of Music for a New Society called M-Fan, so an initialism, Music for a New Society, which is a complete reworking of the 1982 masterpiece, Music for a New Society. And it says, John Cale recontextualizes the original songs into radical new forms to resonate with the digital age. Contains a new recording of a previously lost track from the original session, Back to the End. So here's the back of it. It's on double vinyl. Now, I will say, having been so familiar with the original, this was a bit jarring to listen to. I do like it. It's worth having if you're a John Cale fan. And again, there's some changes made here. So it's a bit of a different listen, but I recommend it. It's actually really good. And it's on these interesting labels. It's got a nice insert here with a photo of John in a phone booth. 2 pieces of vinyl. Really, really, really great album. And I'm never going to get that back in right now. So, awesome. So, number 2, Music for a New Society. Number 1, I guess if you've watched any part of the John Cale series, you may have already guessed what this is going to be. And for me, I'm going to pick Paris 1919 from 1973, which I think is like a avant-garde pop masterpiece. I don't care what format of music you like. This is one of those records that I think anyone would like. It is, as I say, it's got these pop sensibilities, lush sounds, bit of orchestra and strings. It's a very brief record. It's around 31 minutes. It is just simply divine. I mean, I can't think of another way to put it. Starts with Child's Christmas in Wales. That's a really excellent song. A couple songs that stand out: Andalusia, Macbeth, the title track, of course, Half Past France, and this really atmospheric concluding track, Antarctica, starts here. Really, really, really terrific album. I recommend it. And I'm going to wrap it up by showing you something else, because if we're talking about this record, you may know that recently in 2024, that was reissued. So I'm going to show you the reissue because I've never shown it before, and I guess I was going to bring it up in my next John Cale video. That'll take a while because we're still out of the house for a couple months, and it's a struggle to get in and get records. So this is the deluxe 2 LP pressing of Paris 1919, which came out in 2024, and it contains, so it says it's an artist-sanctioned reissue, remastered from the original tapes, featuring previously unreleased outtakes. So what this has on it is the entire album that we just saw, plus 7 bonus tracks. One's called I Must Not Sniff Cocaine, and cocaine, if you don't know, was John Cale's drug of choice back in the day. He went down some dark pathways. Hanky Panky Know How in a drone mix. Child's Christmas in Wales, rehearsal number 1. Half Past France, something called the intro chat. Macbeth, take 11. Hanky Panky Know How, the guitar mix, and Fever Dream from 2024, You're a Ghost. Really, really great. And this is quite a nice package because it's on double vinyl with these nice inserts. Oh, I just dropped something with... Oh, that was a download code. And then it has lyrics and... What else? There's something else in here that I maybe misplaced. Unless it's still in the sleeve. I don't know, I must have misplaced it. There's one other thing that's... Oh, here it is. Wait, here we go. 2 other things. This little insert about the record, and then this... wait, did I show you this part? And then there's this, which contains an essay and some photography written by Grayson Haver Curran, which I don't know who that is. So this is a really great reissue. I'm assuming it's still available. So if you're looking for a copy, seek this out. It's easier. It's going to be much easier to find than any other pressing. Every other pressing of this is just really extremely rare. So there we have it. My answer to the MGK Boston challenge. I will see you in the next video, whenever that is.